Durbania. I'm Durbin, and done a lot of Game of Thrones talk, reviewing Season 7 as it's happened, which has been one awesome adventure. So, of course, I gotta do this one more time, talk about the overview of the whole season, and I can't do it alone. All throughout the season, I've been on Facebook, talking to one of my good friends from Almost Sideways, Adam, and we've been going back and forth about the show this season. So, Adam, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, Durbin. Thanks so much for having me. Looking forward to talking Game of Thrones. I've been doing a lot of these videos on my channel as well. This is a really good season. Can't wait to talk about it with you.
Sweet. So tell us about your channel and where we can find it.
Well, my name is Adam with Almost Sideways, and it's on YouTube. Type in that, I'll be there. I do movie reviews, trailer reactions, and ranking videos. I'm also on Twitter at Adam Sideways. Love for you guys to come check it out and see what's new coming on the channel too. So that'd be awesome.
Awesome. Well, he does have an excellent channel. Definitely go over there and check out his really great videos. And right now, I mean, he's got some great Game of Thrones. I can't even talk. He's got some great Game of Thrones reviews, so definitely check those out. Right now, we're gonna dive into our overall thoughts and views of this season, and we got some predictions to make. So Adam, why don't I kick this off with you? What are some things that stood out to you as awesome highlights this year?
I think one of the biggest highlights was just to see the very first episode, the very first scene was Arya killing off the Frey family. That was such this epic moment just to start the season off right, because the Freys did some horrible stuff, betraying the Starks and killing Robb and Catelyn and Robb's pregnant wife. That was just a perfect way to start off that season. We kind of got a glimpse of what was about to happen at the very end of last season. So just to see that as a kickoff to the show, well, that got me really excited. I was super happy to see that and just see everybody die at the very beginning of the show. So that's a pretty good highlight for me, I think.
Oh, and it's definitely good old Game of Thrones fashion there. I almost forgot about that because so much other stuff happened this season with dragons and all kinds of crazy things, and
there was a lot of stuff.
I almost forgot that incredibly epic just first scene. That was incredible to see Arya get her vengeance on that entire family and wipe them out in one shot. But one highlight that really stands out to me, aside from just Jon and Daenerys meeting, which I have a lot that I can say about that, but one of my biggest highlights, and I'm pretty sure this is one of your biggest highlights because I saw your reaction on your channel, when they were doing battle and Daenerys shows up with that dragon and they just decimate Jaime Lannister's army. I mean, they just decimated. I mean, first, if it was just the Dothraki fighting them alone, they would not have won. I mean, Jaime's army had no ability to beat the Dothraki, and then all of a sudden shows up the dragon and people are turning to ash. I mean, that flipping blew me away. It was so cool to see the dragon in battle. What did you think of the dragon battle?
I was blown away, literally. This was a crazy sequence because you hear the noise from in the distance, and you just see the sheer terror in Jaime's face. And that moment, you realize that you may be fighting for the wrong side, I think. And that was definitely one of the key moments to get Jaime kind of maybe going towards their side. But that battle sequence was so amazing, incredible. I felt like it was really happening and everything. It just great effects that they were able to use. And one of the big highlights from that battle was Bronn, Jaime's right-hand guy. He definitely came to play in that scene. He was huge for the Lannister side, and he actually almost took down a dragon itself. He actually hurt it maybe, but it was really awesome to see what he was able to bring to the table for the other side. And I think this was the first time we actually saw both sides, that we had characters that we cared about fighting against each other. So we didn't want necessarily Jaime or Bronn to die, but we didn't want the other side to die either. It was just kind of a good conflict, and it played out perfectly. And there was a great cliffhanger at the very end, like what was going to happen to Jaime and Bronn. Really awesome. And also see Tyrion, he was part of the battle there too, saying he didn't want to see his brother die because he still cares about his brother. Thought that was just amazing. It was good conflict from every single character, and everybody had a good part to play in it as well.
Oh, yeah. And you brought up a really good point there, that when they were in that dragon battle, it's two sides of characters that we've come to like. And I mean, I thought about that when I was watching it, but you just kind of reminded me of that, and that's so true. And that was I think it's one of the things that's so smart about this show. in each place, like, you have characters that you love. Even when you have sides, like, coming against each other, there's characters that you love, there's characters that you hate. Usually it's the ones that you love that die, the ones that you hate that live on. But in this particular battle, like, I remember Jaime was going towards the dragon, and some part of me was like, fry him, dragon, fry him. Because, of course, I don't want Daenerys to die, and I don't want the dragon to die, which I thought the dragon was going to die. As soon as that dragon got hit by that arrow, I thought it was going to die of a collapsed lung. Maybe it was poison-tipped. I don't know. I had so many paranoid thoughts going through my mind that the dragon was going to die right there that I was kind of just freaking out. But then I was like, wait, no, dragon, don't. That's Jaime. We can't let Jaime die. This cannot be how Jaime goes out. If he dies here, that's not even epic for him. So, like, I felt that tension where it's like there are characters on both sides that I really liked. And I think that's something really smart that this show does. And speaking of characters I like on both sides, there's definitely characters I hate on both sides. Like, Cersei, can't stand her for sure, but the one that really irked me this year, and tell me if you felt this, Sansa.
Oh, yes.
She irked me. Oh, she got under my skin so much.
Yeah, I was about to bring her up, actually, too, so that's kind of a good little segue there. Yeah, she definitely just got under my skin, and I did a ranking video on my channel this last week of the top 5 least favorite characters in Game of Thrones, and she made my list. I just something about her. I know she's been through a lot and had a lot of trauma in her life in the show, but there's decisions she makes, her being willing to listen to Littlefinger, having him like kind of chirp in her ear. There's something about her I can't stand. I don't like her this season until she redeemed herself. And I think that's another one of my big highlights of the show, is because at the very end of last season's episode, or season 7, episode 7, the big twist, didn't see it coming. I thought
I didn't see that coming either.
Yes, I thought Arya comes into this courtroom basically, and Sansa's like,
"You stand accused of murder. You stand accused of treason. How do you answer these charges?" Lord Baelish.
My sister asked you a question.
And that right there kind of redeemed Sansa a little bit for me. I was like, I really do appreciate you right now at this moment. Thought that was a really great twist, and what a way to go out for Baelish as well. I was really excited. I was on the edge of my seat. Like, how is he going to talk his way out of this one? But luckily, he couldn't talk his way out of this one. So, really awesome, really great moment too for both people involved. For the Stark,
I totally agree, and that was just something that gave me a lot of conflict with just my thoughts for Sansa. I mean, the whole season, every episode, every moment she was there, I thought she was going to be the ruin of Jon Snow. I thought for sure, like, the Lords would feel abandoned by Jon Snow because he went south. And, you know, they even had that one episode where some of the Lords were like, we should have appointed you our leader. Like, I thought for sure Jon was going to lose the North to Sansa, and Sansa liking pretty things and pretty dresses and wanting, you know, that awesome title of Lady of the North or whatever it was. Like, I just figured she would probably take it. And so that made the surprise there just so much greater at the end when she turned on, you know, Lord Baelish on Littlefinger, because I really thought she's going to go with him. I really thought she was going to listen to everything he had to say. I thought she was going to take his advice, hook, line, and sinker, even though she knows better. I thought for sure she was going to take his advice. And to see her in that last moment turn on him and, you know, be on her sister's side and be on Bran's side, like, that was such an epic, monumentous moment. I was on my feet cheering when she did that. And that line she had where she's like, "Oh, I am a slow learner, but I learned." And I was like, yes, amen. You are a very slow learner, but I am so glad you actually learned something, because this was so stupid. Yes! So I was really excited to see her turn on Littlefinger like that.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. And also she turns his words against him too, saying that sometimes I play a game trying to figure out what the worst possible outcome for this person's motives. I thought that was brilliant, and he was like kind of bewildered. He's like, dang, this girl just totally was playing me this whole time when I thought I was playing her. Loved it. Just really awesome to see somebody kind of back himself into a corner. I just couldn't go any better for me. That scene right there.
That scene was just sheer brilliant. Something else I loved this season was finally the worlds of Daenerys and Jon Snow colliding, where they finally met face to face. And this season, I got something that I wanted and realized I didn't really want it. And then that was Jon and Khaleesi getting together. It's one of those things where about 3 episodes in, I was like, oh, that's right, from the season before, we know he might be a Targaryen. Oh, crud, that really is the best theory. I wanted them together. I hope they don't get together now. And then they get together. And whilst they are together, we get the reveal from Bran and Samwell that she is his aunt. How did you feel about that reveal?
I was like, oh, they're having their relations, and then it's like, oh, this is kind of awkward. I was super excited for the reveal, of course, and then it just kind of goes a step further, and they're kind of like, how do I really feel about this? Because I wasn't okay when Jaime and Cersei were having relations, and now I'm seeing these other set of family members having their moments. But it's like, yes, it's finally he's not a bastard. He was never been a bastard, and I thought that was a really awesome line that Bran was able to speak, and that kind of gave me goosebumps. But then at the same time they were showing it, they were showing something on screen that was like,
oh, that's family.
This is awkward.
Oh, that's pretty gross.
But
that's pretty gross.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
And the other thing that I just really liked between those two was how, Jon wouldn't, just bow the knee to her, which I thought was cool, or bend the knee to her, and I thought that was really cool because, he's standing his ground. His people put him in charge, and he was there to represent his people, and he wasn't there to serve a foreign queen. And I like that she stood her ground, but what was so cool is she began to see this is a self-sacrificial dude. And he began to see that she's a self-sacrificing person as well. And so, like, that mutual respect and admiration they had for each other were finally, after this epic battle that I'm going to talk about with you here really shortly, because it's another one of my favorite things on this season. But when they just had that moment where, he's kind of recovering and he says, I would bend the knee if I could get up. And she goes, but what about your people? But it was that moment of mutual respect. She decided to help him without him bending the knee. And he decided he was going to bend the knee, before she agreed to help him. Like, they had that mutual place that they reached, and I just thought, that's it. Everybody on this show is so freaking selfish. It's so cool to finally have a moment like this. And then they're related.
Yeah, I love the style, like, they were thinking of others first, putting other people and thinking of their kind of what's their end game is, what they need. The bigger picture of things. I love that, how they weren't just like they're putting themselves aside. I thought that was a really awesome moment. And yeah, they're related, but I have a feeling that when they finally gets revealed to them who they actually are to each other, I don't think they're gonna stay together. That's we'll get to that in a little bit, but I think it was a really good, awesome moment, and finally hearing that he's actually a Targaryen. His name's Aegon Targaryen. I thought that was really awesome.
That was just so awesome. And like you said, I'm just happy that, he's a legitimate child. And I just thought that was so cool, the actual heir to the throne. The other thing that just so impressed me this season was when everybody goes north of the wall to capture a White Walker. And just taking all these different sets of characters and bringing them together. I said this in one of my reviews. It felt like watching the Avengers. Where you're going through all these Marvel movies. They set up all these heroes. You get to know these heroes. You get to like these heroes. And then when they team up, it means something to you when this group teams up. And I felt that when all these groups of guys teamed up to go north of the wall. Just watching the Hound and Tormund and the way they would talk to each other. It was just cool to watch these characters interact, form kind of a brotherhood, like a trench brotherhood mentality, and then go to war together. On top of the fact, them fighting all those White Walkers, that was just,
It was a crazy battle to begin with, but going back to the little meetup, I loved all the interactions between all the characters, especially the interaction where Jon Snow was talking to Captain Friendzone, as I always call him, but Jorah Mormont, how they were talking about the sword. It's like, well, your father gave me this sword. This is the sword of your house. And Jorah is like, no, he gave it to you. I embarrassed my house. You are going to make the sword worthwhile again. So I thought that was just really good moments like that. It was just a smaller moment, but it was such a powerful one too, to see no, you're the one my father chose to have this, and he must have appreciated you. You're a good man, and you deserve to have that sword. Just little moments like that. I also love Tormund at the Hound talking about Brienne, which is another one of my favorite characters. So that got me a little happy and excited to see that. I thought that was a really funny conversation. But going back to the battle, wow, they were basically just pinned down in the middle of this lake, surrounded by walkers. Wow, that's being in the middle. I can't really. I'm kind of lost for words. What do I say to describe this battle that, if you haven't seen it, that you would better you get an idea how crazy it is. They were basically like getting pushed behind enemy lines. They were just getting surrounded, and they were basically gonna die if something big didn't happen. So it's just an amazing battle, and seeing the Night King just overlooking every single thing that was happening, and just you felt claustrophobic during that battle too, because you were just surrounded.
And then they're like all back to back on this tiny rock in the middle of this lake. And when the Hound just throws the rock and they see that the ice has remelted and it's solid and they come marching in, it's like, crap. Now, like I had predicted earlier that a dragon was going to die this season, but what I really thought is that this dragon was going to die by the hand of Cersei, since they had, that huge dragon arrow that, they shot through the dragon's skull in the basement of their castle. So I thought for sure there's going to be some epic battle with Cersei at the end of this season, and that a dragon was going to die that way. Or I thought for sure, a couple episodes before that, the dragon was going to die. I just had a feeling a dragon was going to die. What I did not predict was that it was going to be the Night King taking an ice spear and throwing it through the heart of one of the dragons as it then plummets into the icy lake, which then all the White Walkers pull out of the lake and they turn it into a White Walker dragon.
That was a crazy moment. I was like, oh my goodness, we just lost a dragon. What's going to happen next? Like, that dragon's dead. He's not coming back. And then all of a sudden, the show fades to black, and then all of a sudden you hear these chains rattling and it fades back in. You see them start pulling something out of the lake, and you're like, oh, please don't turn. And then that blue eye appears, and that's how the show ends. I was like, oh gosh, we have a dragon. We have a dragon.
Yep.
Who's
funny,
dead.
Because it makes sense. Because, the White Walkers eventually would have gotten through the wall just by sheer numbers. The fact that they don't die, the fact that they don't get tired, the fact that they don't sleep, one way or the other, they were going to make their way past that wall. Who knows how long it would have taken, but they would have done it. But the fact that they got a dragon, like, as soon as they got it, it's like, oh, well, that makes sense. Because already they were going to, kind of be superior just because of their numbers. But this even makes them a larger threat, which, if the rumors are right and next season is the final season, this has really just upped the game for that season. That now we have White Walkers with a White Walker dragon, and the dragon just blew down the wall. Like, the wall was just like a piece of cheese melting beneath its heat or something. Like, that wall didn't stand a chance. And now, do you think Tormund is alive? He's got to be alive, right?
Yeah, I was getting really sad, because that's one of my favorite characters as well. I love that guy. But I actually started tearing up, and I was like, oh no, he's going to die like this. This is so, unepic for him to die, just go out like that. But I realized they never showed his body. So usually in this show, in any shows like this, they don't show the body. He's not dead. So I have full faith that he's coming back at the next season, because I didn't see a body. So hopefully that's true. But that dragon, man, that wall got destroyed so fast, and even the dead Viserion, I believe, is the dragon that got who's turned into the ice dragon. He's the dragon they named after Daenerys' brother. But this is you see the speed of that dragon too. He was so much faster than the other ones too. So I was like, they're gonna have their hands full with this one. It seemed like one dragon basically equaled two of the dragons that Daenerys has now. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens with those.
And it's interesting because Daenerys and Jon, they don't know that dragon is resurrected yet. So that's gonna be a very interesting reveal. My mom kind of hopes, because my mom was here on vacation while these episodes aired, and she's just like, that dragon has to still have a connection to Daenerys. That connection has to be there. Like, that dragon's got to wake up and reconnect with her. And I was like, I hope so, but I kind of think the dragon might be lost. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like, it is going to be interesting to see what becomes of the dragon.
Oh, it's going to be interesting for sure, and I'm looking forward to it. I have no idea what's in store, so that's awesome.
Well, why don't you kick us off with the predictions? What are some big predictions you have for Season 8?
All right, well, the easiest one, I think that you just mentioned it too, I'm going to say it wrong, but the Clegane Bowl, which is basically the Hound versus the Mountain, that's definitely going to happen. I thought it was going to happen on the season finale, but it's not. Didn't. So it's going to happen for sure in season 8 sometime. So I'm really looking forward to that, with the Hound coming out victorious. That's my prediction for that. That's the easiest one to predict, I think.
The biggest one I had is between Jon and Daenerys, because I really do predict things are going too happy for them right now. So when they find out that their aunt and nephew, and he has the actual legit claim to the throne, I think that's going to cause a lot of problems. And I think what's going to be sad about the problems it causes is Jon's a humble guy, and he probably won't even want the Iron Throne. He'll be happy being king of the North, but I predict that, and I predict that'll be his feelings, but I just kind of think that maybe some royal law or something is going to interfere with Jon's feelings, and somebody like Tyrion, or I don't know, somebody is going to pressure him to uphold that claim, that since it's his by right, he should be the one that sits there. And so I kind of just feel like as soon as we figure out whose the claim really is, I think there's going to be some problems in paradise between Jon and Daenerys. And I feel like that's going to be a huge part of next season, on top of the fact that we're going to conclude the Cersei thing and the White Walker thing. And I don't know how we're going to conclude Cersei. I really don't, except maybe the Night King will cut off her head. But, you know, she's not even going to march out to the north. So that's just going to be interesting. I predict Jaime is done with his sister. I really do. I think he's done.
Oh, yeah. I think Jaime's done.
Any loyalty he has left is the baby, but I'm kind of partial to the idea that the baby's not real.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you guys as well. I don't think the baby is going to be real. I think it's Cersei just playing Jaime, keeping Jaime on her side, and saying that, oh yeah, I'm pregnant, because she knows that Jaime was very loving towards their kids before that are already dead. So this is something that keep her or him wrapped around her finger. So I don't think it's real.
And I had somebody mention a few things in my comments, because you know, she kind of played Tyrion like a fiddle, because he was like, "You're pregnant," you know, in that scene when they're meeting face to face. And a couple people in my comment section were commenting on how Tyrion was just stood there as, you know, Jon and Daenerys entered that room together. But the way that he was standing there and kind of creepily looking down the hall at her door, like they're saying, do you think possibly he has betrayed Daenerys to Cersei? And I don't know that answer. But he was staring down at that door in a very funky way. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Wow, that did not cross my mind. I was wondering what he was thinking at that moment. My thought was that this is not going to end well. They shouldn't be doing this, having the relations they were having. But that was one thing I was like, what is he thinking? Why is he being creepy like that? But if he betrays them, I would be really upset. That's been one of the characters that pretty much has been beloved since season 1. Wow, that would be a big bummer.
That would be I hope it's not true. It's just, you know, a couple people had suggested enough that my mind is starting to go in that direction, where it's like, well, he did talk a lot about family, and he loves his family. But, you know, he does strongly seem to believe in Daenerys, so this could be wrong, and I hope it's wrong. I hope he has not set up some sort of betrayal, because, you know, after they talk, Cersei comes out with the big deal of, we will give you the armies, and then to Jaime, we're not giving them squat. My mercenaries are coming, we're going to take them out if they survive. And it's like, oh, crud. And so, I mean, I don't know even what a Tyrion betrayal could mean if she's already betraying them to hang back behind. So I don't even know what a Tyrion betrayal would even look like in that case. But it's just definitely something that's on my mind now that I'm wondering. I mean, I don't think he would. I hope he wouldn't. He looks pretty faithful to Daenerys, but I mean, I guess we'll find out. But I think it's a real possibility.
Another prediction I have is that Theon Greyjoy will die saving his sister, but he will beat Euron Greyjoy. That's what I kind of have a feeling is going to happen. I don't think it's going to be like a major storyline, but Theon will die and kind of redeem himself for all the wrongs he has caused throughout the show.
That makes a lot of sense. I'd be sad to see that happen, because for the first time I was very proud of Theon in that last scene of the finale where he just stood his ground and kept fighting. Like, I was so proud of him for growing up like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it would play perfectly into his storyline, because the sister's already in charge of the islands, the Greyjoy family, and he doesn't want anything to do with that. But if he saves her and it goes out as as a fighter, and I think that would be a very redeeming factor for him. I don't want to see it happen because I really liked how the season finale went for him. Really liked that fight that he had, but it would be the way to go, I think, if they had to kill him off.
Well, it would give him an ultimate redemption too, which, like I agree with you, that would suck because the show just utterly redeemed him, and if they kill him, that'll make me sad. But at the same time, it's like this ultimate redemption that, you know, he paid the ultimate price to save someone else, and that would be pretty actually rocking for his character. It would just kind of suck.
So my last one, this goes to Jon Snow, and I was thinking about this for a while. I don't think necessarily they're going to believe that Jon and Daenerys are actually going to believe right off the bat that Jon is actually a Targaryen. They'll hear that and they'll be like, okay, maybe we shouldn't do what we're doing right now and kind of be two leaders. But when the Night King comes with the dragon, eventually there's going to be some battle, and the Night King is looks like he's going to kill Jon Snow by blowing, the dragon's going to blow a thing of fire towards Jon, and it's going to engulf him, right?
Right. Oh.
But Jon is going to be unburnt, and he's still going to be alive without a single mark on him, and it proves to everyone that he is a Targaryen, and everybody will see it and realize that maybe he is the true king. And I think it'd be a very telling moment, and if that happens in front of Dany, then Dany will have to accept that as well. I think that would be a very amazing, epic moment. Will it happen on the show? I'm not 100% sure, but I would love to see that moment happen.
That would be a truly epic way for everybody to see that he is the rightful heir to the throne. Oh, man. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I just was thinking about that. I was like, that would be so amazing. I'm a huge Jon Snow fan, so just thinking about, now we revealed that he's a Targaryen. What's the best way to just show the whole world that he's a Targaryen is by that sequence right there. To everybody in the army, to even the Night King realizing that this dragon's not going to hurt him. I have to fight him, and he fights the Night King one-on-one. That would be so awesome to see, and I'm itching to see that sequence. I hope it happens for sure.
I'm finding in my own mind as we're talking about this, when it comes between Daenerys and Jon sitting on the Iron Throne, I'm finding I don't care. I don't care which one sits on the Iron Throne. I like them both, and one or the other I'd be happy with being the ultimate king of all the kingdoms or queen of all the kingdoms. So there's a part of tension that's not there for me because I would be happy with either one of them ruling from that Iron Throne.
Totally.
And they would both be the rulers I would want them to be over the lands. I don't care if Jon stays king in the north and she sits on the throne, or if they flip-flop it or whatever. I just don't want one of them to die.
Be too sad.
But I definitely think one of them will.
And yeah, me too. My prediction, I think it will be Dany. I think that's the one that everybody's assuming is going to take the throne at the very end. But I can see her possibly dying because they brought up who's going to follow you afterward, who's going to, once you die, who's going to take the throne after you. Tyrion brought that up in a conversation. I think the show is going to maybe even psych us out that she's not going to, or she's going to die, and maybe she will survive, but who knows? It's going to be one of them. I don't want either of them to die, though.
Well, Adam, give us one more time. Tell us about your channel, where we can find you.
All right, guys. My name is Adam with Almost Sideways. You can type in Almost Sideways on YouTube. I'm the first and only person that pops up with that channel. Like I said, I do movie reviews, trailer reactions, ranking videos. Also been talking about Game of Thrones, so look forward to next season for that conversation as well. And I also do Blu-ray hauls, just about everything movies. That's what I do. Also on Twitter at Adam Sideways. Would love for you guys to come out, check out the channel, and join the conversation as well. Anyway, Durbin, thank you so much for having me on, talking about Game of Thrones. Really had a lot of fun.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking Game of Thrones, and it's been really fun as the season goes, Facebook messaging you back and forth, did you see that? Oh my gosh, that was awesome. So, that was just so much fun. So, thank you so much for coming on and talking Game of Thrones with me, and make sure you go over to his channel, Almost Sideways, hit the subscribe button on his channel. He's got a fantastic channel. He's growing fast. Help him grow faster. Go over there and definitely check him out. Also, in the comments below, what are your thoughts of Season 7 and what are your predictions for Season 8? Both Adam and I would love to have a conversation with you about that, so go ahead and leave that in the comments while you're there. Hit the subscribe button. Next to the subscribe button is that bell. Click the bell so you're notified the moment I drop new videos and all kinds of fun stuff like that. Got all kinds of great collaborations coming up here in the future, so make sure you're here to check that out. So I'm Durbin.
And I'm Adam.
Thank you for checking out Durbania.